Hey everyone, today I am talking about a book that has absolutely blown my mind. It is South versus North, the Great India's Great Divide by the author Nilkantan RS. Now, if you ever wondered why India seems to operate like two different countries, this book finally explains it all. What is this book about? So, this book was published in 2023, and a dear friend, Krish Ashok, who goes by Masala Lab, recommended this book to me. On a side note, if you do not follow Masala Lab's work on Instagram and YouTube, I very highly recommend that you do. He busts food related myths backed by science, and it's an amazing source of information. So, do give him a follow. Coming back to the book. So, this book, as I said, was published in 2023, and the author tackles something that we all kind of know about but rarely discuss, which is the growing gap between India's southern and northern states. But instead of just throwing opinions around or getting preachy about it, the author brings in information and metrics. The book is packed with data, analysis, real world examples that will totally change how you see India. Now, who is the author? So, I'm just going to read out the blurb that is there at the back of the book. Um, here. So, Nilakantan RS trained as an engineer at the Clemson University and is the chief data scientist for one of India's largest fintech firms. His primary interest is designing stable, decentralized systems, be they political entities or business related processes. He has written on India's federal structure for publications such as The Caravan, Wire.com, and The Hindu. So he is not just a random commentator, he knows his numbers and he has been studying India's economic development for decades. Now, uh, using these numbers and metrics, he breaks down the complex issues that face India today. What's the core idea? So, basically, what the author argues in the book is that India has evolved into two nations within one. We are still one country, but there's two very diverse nations that have developed within it. One is a more developed, progressive South, and a struggling North facing totally different challenges. But what fascinating is that the author doesn't blame this divide on a difference in culture. He doesn't claim that Southerners are somehow better. Nothing like that. What he does is he looks at policy choices, governance structures, historical decisions that created these different outcomes. He explains why this divide happened and how we stand today. So, for example, in the section about economy, he talks about how some states have spearheaded in manufacturing and services, while some states have remained primarily agricultural. Why Tamil Nadu attracts so much more foreign investment than, say, Uttar Pradesh or Bihar. And despite that, Tamil Nadu has a much smaller population compared to Uttar Pradesh or Bihar. And he explains it each with a metric that is measured by different bodies, and he gives it across all states. And I assure you, if at any point you felt a particular state was doing amazing, when you see the numbers, you might be surprised. Then the author talks about uh, education. There's a section on it in which different metrics are again talked about, how the South has focused on education, not just men, but women are also given equal educational opportunities, and how the North lags behind on it. There are literacy rate comparisons across gender, across states, and it's very eye opening. The author also talks about healthcare, like how healthcare down south is so much more better than up north. And while some states have managed to build a robust healthcare systems, others are struggling with even the basics. So the difference in metrics like maternal mortality rate, infant mortality rate, etc., The author talks about that in a lot of detail. He also talks about governance. Now, that can get a little boring for a lot of you, but I assure you that the author makes it really very interesting. And he talks about how different states take like different approaches to governance, like how they tackle corruption levels, how they offer public services, which creates total different realities for citizens. While some states choose to offer freebies, some states focus on building value for the citizens. There's a whole spectrum. Now, after all the different sections, the author takes talks about the democracy problem. Like with so much diversity and such different progress and status of different states, is democracy even a fair representation of everybody in the country? Different states of India develop at different rates. So, how can we have a single policy for the whole country? That's a question worth pondering upon. Uh, should states with lower development indicators get more political representation because their population is also out of control or growing at really high rates, whereas states with better development metrics should get lower uh, representation at the central government? And this is especially relevant because the delimitation exercise uh, may or may not be done next year. The the expiry comes in next year, and I know for a fact that the southern states are opposing it because their representation does go down if a revision happens, because it will happen in lieu of the population of every state. What I love is that about this book is that the author doesn't complain about the problems. He also offers thoughtful solutions like constitutional reforms, educational investments, new economic partnership between regions. He kind of gives you options for a path forward, which are very practical. But he also leaves you with a lot of food for thought. So you can see that the author presents all perspectives and gives you all the problems and solutions, but still gives you enough room to make your own opinions and thoughts. So I don't want to give away all the details because I really want you all to read the book. But I'll give you some reasons why you should read this book. So, if you care about India's future, if you're interested in development and democracy, if you want to understand regional politics better, and if you enjoy data driven analysis that is weaved together with a very compelling story, then this book is a must read. Now, it's not often that you find something that is intellectually satisfying and super relevant to the current events, but this book is it. So pick it up, order it from wherever you buy your books, and this is something you must read. And on a closing thought, I would say that this book doesn't take sides. Uh, there is no propaganda going on, and nowhere does it get said that the south is better or the north is better or the north is bad or the south is bad. Nothing of the sort. The author just presents facts and numbers to help the reader understand what a complex country India is and proposes some solutions that could help everyone. Now, in this day and age when opinions get highly polarized and you have to be extremely careful of what you say online or in print or anywhere at all, this book offers a balanced, evidence based approach. And if you enjoy reading that, then this is a book you should definitely read. It'll be very refreshing, it'll be quite a revelation. So that's my take on this book. Have you read it? Would you like to read it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you do pick up the book because of my video today, come back and tell me how you liked it. And that's about it for the book. Thank you. Bye.